Everyone, this is episode 406 being recorded on the 26th of January 2021. Looks like the stream looks good, so I'm gonna pause that so I don't have to watch that in the background. This is the raw version of the show, live version of the show. We do it at twitch.tv/OotiniCast if you ever want to check in during a live show, and we then put this up on YouTube, the raw version of the show, and then we put the edited version out as a podcast, and that normally happens the next day. All right, so we've got the stream and the recording going. We just have a minute or two before the top of the hour, and we got some people already here, which is awesome. Yeah. I love how like Twitch changes your name's color like kind of randomly. So,
right.
I like all the colors except they have a dark blue that's like, since I use the night version and it's everything black background, I really cannot see it. Like whenever someone shows up in chat and they have the blue name, I have to highlight it so that it reverses the colors so I can actually see what the heck is going on.
When I first started checking Twitch out, I watched it on my Xbox, and my name was black, and I could never see my name, and every once in a while I'd see someone else that had their name was real dark. You're like, I can't read that.
I can't read you, sir.
I do not know what you're speaking of.
Yes.
Please leave.
Yep. All right. And I think, yeah, we're pretty much ready to go. Are you ready, Kitty?
I'm ready, chill.
All right. I'm going to get this put in the right spot. And I'm just going to take a little drink of water and we'll get going.
Cool.
Hey, Deck.
Hey, Deck. Hey, Whoopi.
All right. Going in 5 here. Hi, and welcome to the OotiniCast. Come here, you little womp rat. This is episode 406 being recorded on Tuesday, January 26th, 2021. I'm your host, Chill, and with me is my co-host, KittyKissz. Hey, Kitty.
Hey, Chill.
Yeah, it's just the two of us today. So, Kitty, what you been up to since last show?
I've been doing a lot of streaming, a lot of Space Barbie.
Okay.
I actually went over and visited our friend Sith Lord Britt on her stream.
Yes.
And she let me dress up one of her characters. And that was pretty fun.
So what did you do? How did you dress her up?
I just kind of went for the cheapest, coolest looking thing. She gave me like a bunch of stuff, like a bunch of credits and a bunch of cartel coins. And when I was like, all right, that's going to be cool. But then I was like, I don't want to spend all our cartel coins and all that. So I decided that, I'll show folks how to make a cheap, cool looking bounty hunter outfit.
Nice.
And it was really fun. And it was fun to hang out with Britt. And what else? I think, just kind of hung out, showed that, and then split. I don't know.
That sounds fun.
It was good.
Yeah, was this for like one of her main characters, or was this just for a character she's leveling, or what? How did she decide to do the bounty hunter?
I think it was her main character. I know that she was like, I'm going to make a new character, but then she decided, here, just go for it. And it was really fun. It was cool. It was, what was really cool is that I didn't have to do any of the heavy lifting. It was like, all right, it's her stream.
That's right.
I just kick back, goof off, have fun.
That's right. And, yeah. When we duel and I'm on yours, it's very easy for me. I just have to be there. Yeah. All the deals about all the little bells and whistles of the stream are all up to you.
Yeah, it's nice, right? It's like sitting in the passenger seat. I'm just going along for the ride. What was I going to say? Oh yeah, there was this because I was using a tabletop, like basically we were running a program, so I could literally was playing on her character through my computer. And it was really sensitive, so every time I would like try to turn the character around to get a look at what it looked like, it would spin and then inevitably go right for the butt, right for the butt shot. So every couple minutes, it would go, butt
magnet.
yeah, it was really funny. It's just like, oh yeah, there's the butt again. And at first I was like, oh, I think I might be looking like a pervert. I went, screw it, everybody knows that. I can't be that lucky to land on the butt every time, but it was pretty funny. In game, I'm doing a body type 4 series.
Okay.
I'm going to run a bunch of different classes using body type 4 male characters.
Okay.
And
what made you settle on that?
I like the way that the body type 4 Twi'lek looks like. I think it just looks so cool.
Okay.
They're
cool.
like, the giant Liku and like their big facial features and stuff like that. Not to mention that when you have an outfit on a body type 4 character, it looks different than it does on any of the other body types.
I would agree.
And that way I would be able to kind of get a different view of what all the armors kind of look like. Because I know what they look like with the body type 1 female, because that's primarily what I make all my characters. And I've seen that lots and lots of times.
Right.
So I wanted to kind of change it up, and it's pretty fun. And what else am I doing? My first character that I made body type 4 was a smuggler, but that was a while back when I came up with the idea. Now I'm running a operative lethality spec. And when I first did that several years ago, I hated it. I didn't like it at all. And, through years of playing the game and kind of, getting, I want to say better, but I don't think I'm getting better. I love it. It's super, super fun. So I think what I'm going to do is play specs that I don't normally play when I'm doing the body type 4 character stuff. And it kind of put some wind in my SWOTR sails. And it's been really, really fun. And what's funny is that people seem to really enjoy it because, they're called, I'm calling them the Big Boy series. And, it's like, what did someone say in chat? They go, because the belt buckle on one of the outfits I'm wearing is huge because everything is exaggerated with the body type 4 male. Right.
And there are some big belt buckles in the game anyway. Yeah.
Big belt buckles. Really funny. And people are like, ooh, man, that belt buckle needs needs a trophy. It's doing a lot of work there. But it's super fun. Yeah. I love the body type 4.
And on the body type 4, doesn't the belt buckle kind of angle forward a little bit?
It is inverted, yes.
Yeah, it's a little inverted.
But it's great. And
little Dunlops, yeah.
The character I made now is human. He's got a big porn mustache, and he's kind of a pretty boy with a, kind of a cool guy haircut. But the next one is going to definitely be Twi'lek, because I love, the shot when you're running in third person and your guys like, you're getting it from behind. The Liku are all like bloop, bloop,
floopity flappity floopity flappity.
Love it. Yeah, I can't wait.
Nice.
I can't wait. All right, what's up with chat, Jill?
All right, let's see. Looks like this still needs to be updated. Twitch doesn't always update the chat group very fast, but it's showing Altil, another TV viewer, another TTV viewer. I'm not sure what that means. Bantha Mojito, Deck is here. Hey, Dekyan, Lone Wolf, and Predikill. And so, hey, everyone, for coming. Looks like there's at least a couple more people that just aren't showing in the list yet. So hi to them too. Let's see. I've been mostly just doing Lana Kane. She's all the way through Coffee and Kotet. She's on to Onslaught. We got her through Mekshah today. So there's really very little for her left. There's, the end of Onslaught, which is basically Corelli, which is pretty quick. And then there's some story stuff. And then there's the newest bit, so there's Echoes of Oblivion and the final, the Mandalorian Flashpoint. And that's about it. She has her 6-piece set, so I went with the Entrenched Defense one, just based on like a Volt guide, basically saying that was kind of the best one, which is too bad because it's a very generic one that would work for any spec of the Gunslingers. But it's a pretty good one. So it shortens the cooldown for Hunker Down, and also when you have Hunker Down active, it gives you more energy regeneration, and it gives you a 1 a second buff stacking buff, and when you're at 5 stack, it's 15% extra damage as long as Hunker Down stays active. So if you have to move, it goes away, or at the end of the 20 seconds, it goes away as well. But that's still it's a pretty sizable window of extra damage, which is pretty solid. And because Hunker Down starts out at a 1 minute cooldown, you get 10 seconds chopped off of it because of the 4-set bonus. And then there's a utility that lets you take another 15 seconds off. So you're down to 35 seconds, and it lasts 20 seconds. So you actually have Hunker Down up more than you have it down, which is pretty cool if you need it, for longer fights.
Is it an AoE dot, or is it single target dot?
Well, it's just straight damage. It's just a straight damage buff.
Mm-hmm. It's a buff.
Yeah, it's just a straight damage buff. The tactical I have, actually, it turns your just standard hard cast ability, I think it's called Dirty Blast, in the spec, the regular hard cast ability is turned into Dirty Blast, so it's slightly different. It actually gives a dot to that, so you have 3 dots that you have on instead of 2 dots onto your target, which means you're getting even more damage popped because of the way that ability works. So that's pretty cool too. The tactical works really well too. But yeah, so I do notice the difference. I didn't spend too much on like amplifiers or anything. I did spend like a couple million on amplifiers just to see if I would notice a difference. But it gets really expensive if you really want every amplifier to be perfect. Yeah, it's crazy. So I did kind of improve them all to some degree, but some of them are really good. Some of them are actually what you need, which for the spec, which would be periodic intensity. But I have some just regular weapon damage ones and some tech damage ones and stuff like that. And it's good enough. Yeah, the damage feels pretty dang strong. It's a little hard to tell sometimes, when you're doing just story mode stuff. But I do like the fact that there's like these burst windows, so when I have Hunker Down going, I have my 2 fairly short cooldown. They're like 1.5 minute ish cooldowns for doing extra damage, and you just open up on something, and because you have your Hunker Down going, it's pretty hard to CC you unless it's like a real serious boss fight where they're just going to ignore that. But and it's just a lot of damage. It feels pretty good. And tons of numbers just popping up. Just you can't even see all the numbers. Yeah, it feels so nice.
I love that. Yeah, because the operative spec I'm playing is a dot spec, and it's got one that you throw down and it spreads the dots. And just seeing them all, all the green coming off of them, I love it.
Right.
It's always good. It's always fun.
And yeah, so she's just about done. I will go ahead and finish her up, and then I've done a lot of character leveling for a while. We did some dual leveling. I did the Robin character. I've done her, and I think I've even did a little before that. And so I've done a lot of that for a while. So I think I'm going to do some endgame stuff for a while. Probably, I do want to try the Master Mode chapters. It's something that I've never really tried, and I know a lot of people have, including you. I'd like to do some PvP as well, since I always enjoy it, but it's like unless I force myself to do it, I don't really get into it. You know what I mean? So it'd be nice to like have a reason to focus on in-game stuff. So that's good. I'm looking forward on that. And I'm not sure if I'll be using my Juggernaut and Guardian tanks, or if I'll be using my DPS mains, which is the dirty fighting scoundrels and operatives, but we'll figure it out.
I will help run them with you if you want.
I might need it.
Okay.
We'll see if I can solo them, but I might some of them might have to be dueled.
Let me know. I will have a healer or a tank or whatever you need. Stand by.
I have, basically what I can get, which is, endgame gear with augments. I've got level 50 companions, although some chapters that doesn't really help. A lot of chapters that doesn't really help. We'll have to see how it goes. Yes,
you're gonna love it. It's a new difficulty of playing.
Yeah,
it's nice to have that difficulty there, because you're gonna get to know your character. Really
right.
well.
Yeah, exactly. It'll be all the cooldowns. Yeah, Evans is in chat now and says, "Yeah, cover your ears if you watch Chill Play PvP." Because I do tend to swear once I get into PvP. I tend to swear, which is actually the only real reason I have the adult warning. For the first time you go into my Twitch channel, it'll give you the adult warning, and that's strictly because when I do PvP, I have no filter and I will swear a lot. It guaranteed to happen.
I turn into an 8-year-old sometimes when I PvP. It's just profanity after profanity. Although now that I've started streaming, I kind of keep it down a little bit. But when I do get that swear out, it's very intense, and then I feel goofy.
Nice. All right, so let's get on to the tip of the week. I just put in a tip myself this time, and it's a pretty basic one, but it's one that we forget about. I certainly forget about it. But when you get low on credits, if you're the kind like me who sends out companions on crew skill missions all the time, and I think most people do, and if you've been in the game a long time, you should never be broke. If you need a few million credits, go into your crafting inventory, pull out hundreds or even thousands of these raw materials that you're just not going to use. You don't have to sell them all, just sell chunks of them. Put them on the GTN. They will sell. They sell. I don't know who's buying them, but someone's out there crafting the heck out of stuff. I guess it's for conquest. There are some people who just do conquest crafting on multiple characters. They sell well, and you will make your credits. So if you never need a few million credits and you got a day or two to get it done, that's what I would suggest. Because I look at my inventory and I have hundreds of like everything. Everything from rank 1 to rank 11. I've got hundreds of everything, and while I do some crafting, I'm never going to use all of that stuff. So there you go. All right, if you have a tip of the week, send it to OotiniCast@gmail.com before the next show, and it'll give you a chance to win a Tonfon or M83R Droid pet code or M2B9 pet code, courtesy of Bioware, and an OotiniCast provided Cartel Market Pack from the latest shipment. We're always happy to get new tips of the week in. So let's get on to the Mind Trap. So I set this one up after discussing it with you, Kitty. So there was a bit of news happened right after our last episode, where Ubisoft is apparently going to have an open world Star Wars game coming out. Very little information other than that. All we know is open world, which makes sense. So I decided, well, we don't really, there has been some speculation actually, and I think it's wrong, that they're actually altering the deal with EA for the 10-year exclusivity contract. I don't think that's happening at all. I think it's actually they're just setting up for games to happen after 2023 when it expires. I would be very surprised if they actually altered the deal in any way. They're not Darth Vadering it in any way. So the question was then, seems that EA BioWare will be losing exclusivity for Star Wars games, which that's the only way this can happen. What do you think is the likeliest to happen going forward with regards to quality and quantity of Star Wars games? And so the options were: it will greatly improve, it will slightly improve, no change or slightly worse, or it will worsen. And we got 195 votes. And it's amazing like how many people really thinks this is going to be a good thing for Star Wars games. Almost one half, 49.2% put it will greatly improve. 30.3% said it will slightly improve. So for the improve camp, that is darn near 80%. No change or slightly worse, 14.4%, and worsen at 6.2%. So kind of gives you an indication that like a lot of people have a lot of strong opinions about EA, which I guess we could have guessed, but it's interesting to see the numbers. I put slightly improve mostly because I do tend to feel like if you throw things open to different companies where they might put their talent on a particular Star Wars game that they feel very strongly about, I feel that that is sort of that is potentially a good thing, and it probably should improve the quality of the games. And as far as quantity, I hope it goes up. It's hard to say whether I don't know how much like Lucas Games, which is now what they're going to be doing, how much Lucas Games is going to let slip the leash for are they going to allow a lot more games to be made? I don't know. It's certainly possible that there'll be a few more games put out because of this though as well. So I put slightly improve. It's funny because granted, Battlegrounds 2, there was a lot of kerfuffle about, but people have been pretty happy about the last couple of games. The Squadrons game and the and the Jedi Order game and all that stuff. So
they're great games.
Yeah.
I mean, what's it called? Did have all that the pay to win thing going on, but once that was, everybody got pissed about it and voiced their opinion. They changed it, and now they have a great game.
Right.
If you like that first-person shooter stuff.
Yes. The end of exclusivity doesn't necessarily mean anything for SWTOR, because it doesn't, and it doesn't sound like they're going to be giving exclusivity to anyone else. If they did, that would be a different thing, because that would mean the end of SWTOR, because that means that EA and BioWare wouldn't be able to continue to make Star Wars games. That doesn't sound like that's happening at all, though. It just seems like they're going to end the exclusivity idea and just kind of throw it open to the floor, essentially, and kind of take things as they come. There's a little bit of indication that there could be a follow-up to KOTOR that's in development. However, that's strictly in the rumors phase. I have not found anything sort of official about that. So it would be interesting to see if that happens, and if so, whether EA or BioWare will be involved. The rumors are that EA and BioWare are not involved, but again, I'm not really willing to, stand behind what is very much in the rumors camp at this point. Of course, everyone would love to see some more Old Republic setting games, I'm sure, anyway. So, very few people thought it would worsen, which I guess is also interesting. 6.2%. What did you think, Kitty?
First of all, I would love to know why they think it'll worsen.
Mm-hmm.
Are those just humbugs? Was that like a very low number of people besides the percentage that voted for that? I don't see how it could worsen it. Personally.
Right. I mean, right.
Like, everything sucks. But I chose it will greatly improve. And Dekion said it perfectly in chat. There's nothing wrong with a little competition. I think as long as they don't let it get too out of hand and there's some, some silly stuff going on, like He-Man, SWTOR or something like that, then that's
right.
But I just think that the more people that are going to be creating stuff, the more chance we're going to get of having something really cool. And I believe that this is not going to affect SWTOR, like what you were saying. I think SWTOR is going to be around for quite a while, but who knows what's going to happen? I'm stoked. I mean, I love SWTOR. It's my favorite game. It's the only game I'm really playing right now, but let's see what else happened.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
Yeah. And are you a fan of open world games?
I love open world games, but I'm an MMO person.
Mm-hmm.
If there was no MMO and there was an open world, I'd go for it. But I will always stick with the MMO over just the open world stuff. And a lot of people are speculating, of course, that it's going to be an MMO, but we don't know anything about it yet.
Right.
All we've heard is Ubisoft and that it's going to be an open world game. So I don't put on the speculate wildly hat.
Right.
I just go, oh, there's some information. I'm going to compartmentalize that and we'll see what happens a couple of years down the line.
Yeah, I would agree with that. Let's see. There was like I said, there's very little that they're saying about it. The Ubisoft CEO, Yves Guillemot, did say that it will be, quote, an original Star Wars adventure that is different from anything that has been done before, end quote. But what that means, I mean, it could still be an MMO and still be, quote unquote, different from anything that's been before. So it could be an MMO, but it could mean that it's just, because there's a lot of examples out there of games that are very much open world that are not MMOs. They just, they are like single player RPGs that then also have like a lot of availability for characters, for you to take your characters wherever you want to go. But there's like a story, and it's not really in an MMO sort of format. So
Star Wars GTA.
Yeah, exactly. That's right. Yeah, so I'm excited to see, what happens, of course, going forward.
Yeah.
To me, it sounds like, EA and BioWare are still going to have Star Wars games going forward. Exclusivity is not going to mean pushing them out completely. I don't think it means really anything for SWTOR at this point, but we'll, of course, keep an ear out for that. And that'll get us to the Holo feed then. There's, not a ton of news right now, but we will go over what there is. This little reminder, the Squadrons code works to get a Starship mount. It's inspired by the Vanguard Squadron from the new Star Wars Squadrons game. You go to swotor.com/redeems-code, and that's in the show notes. You can also kind of find it by just logging into your account at swotor.com and then just kind of going to your my account and then finding it. You can do it that way as well. You need to do it soon, though. It's been out. They only made it for a couple of weeks, and it is going to be gone with less than 2 days from right now when we're recording this, and basically less than a day from when this the edited version of this podcast is slated to be sent out. So if you're hearing this and the podcast has just come out and you haven't done it, do it, because you're out of time. Basically, it's just Squadrons, all capitalized, all one word. And yeah, it's actually not a bad little speeder too, especially if you had a character like in mind, like maybe a smuggler or an agent or something, where the idea is that they are a pilot of some sort. It'd be like perfect for them. And I like the little flare of the cockpit opening and closing too. It's really nice.
Yeah. Plus it's free. Yay!
Yep. Let's see. Rank Season 13 rewards are coming out. Season 13 of Ranked PvP is slated to end in February with game update 6.2.1. Only a few weeks are left, so get in your matches while you can. There's the usual bronze tiers, silver tiers, gold tiers, and platinum tiers. And there's some flares, battle flags, decorations, titles. The titles are kind of cool this time. There's the Fighter, the Invader, and the Raider, and those are all pretty cool titles. Which, I mean, if you like titles, you should really get into PvP, because like a lot of the coolest titles in the game are actually PvP ranked rewards. So there's also like the Sentinel Challenger. So the Challenger, and so it'll say like, the Sentinel Challenger, because it's based on your advanced class. Pretty cool. There's also some new rewards. There's what's this called? The Airborne Invasion Armor Set, which kind of looks almost like, like a modern sort of, like Army Infantry Airborne sort of set, which kind of cool. It's SWTORized, to be sure, but it's kind of along the same lines. And then there's a bunch of older season rewards that are being brought out, and then they always say replica to maintain the prestige of the original ones, but at least you can get that look now. There's some really nice ones. The Furious, cool. Combatant, Infiltrator, Battler, and Mystic armor sets are all really cool. So the Furious ones. There is the Furious weapon set, which I remember liking back when it came out as an original PvP reward. They're all sort of like heated up, and there's a lot of flame sort of effects on them. They're very nice.
Super cool.
Yep.
I love that they have the like you said, the heated up effect on the guns, like on the barrels.
Yes.
It looks super cool.
I've had like I can't remember the name of it, but I've had like an assault cannon, and the when you fired, then the tip would start glowing, and that was really cool. Nice. Yeah. And this is like that, only kind of even more so, because there's also like flame effects. It's very cool.
Yeah.
The Furious Walker and Flaming Macron mounts are from Season 3. Those are really cool. I like how the Walker, it's one of the open cockpit walkers, which I kind of prefer those because I like seeing my character. But it has like little flames, like it's a hot rod, and it has like exhaust pipes with flames shooting out the back.
Yeah.
Again, sort of hot rod style. So pretty awesome. Macrons are cool too. There's not a lot of them in the game. It's kind of a rare mount, rare type of mount to have. And then the assorted color crystals from replica of seasons 3, 4, 6, and 8.
Those are awesome.
And they all have, they're all just different. They're all kind of unique and cool looking. So it's kind of hard. I don't see any real specific description of them, but yeah, there's some nice. They have pictures of them, and they'll be in the show notes, and they're very nice.
I love the idea that PvP gets these special things. I personally, I've never played a match of ranked,
Hmm.
but I love the idea. I'll see something like that walker up there. As soon as I see that, I'm going to be like,
Yeah, yeah,
more
yeah.
power to you.
And they have
Those are
some
great.
right, and they have some of the really cool Rancor mounts or from PvP stuff
Yeah.
like that.
Really cool. Like they're all tattooed up and stuff like that. Those are really cool looking.
Right, and here's sort of like a long term warning or something for people to keep in mind is be sure to grab all the replica rewards that you want before it's too late. There's still plenty of time, but all replica rewards will no longer be available for purchase when ranked PvP Season 15 starts, the season after the next one. So even though this changes well into the future, we want to ensure everyone has ample time to purchase the replica rewards they want before they go away forever. So yeah, so even these replica ones are going to become unavailable, which is pretty interesting. So they're making
Kind of cool.
yeah, so they're making that a change. So when will season 14 start? It will begin later this spring. There will be an article when they announce the launch of season 14. So we're going to be keeping our eyes open for that. And that's about it for ranked PvP stuff right now. There's a few things sort of that have come along, drifted through to the transom, so to speak. Some people were concerned about old armors not being dyeable, and they sort of had to explain that there are older armors that just don't have dye slots, which is fine as far as it goes. The interesting thing was I didn't realize there was a bug in the game where sometimes items that weren't supposed to be dyed, like you would put dyes into them, and sometimes it would actually work, but it wasn't really meant to work. So if it worked, it was kind of coincidental, and sometimes it just wouldn't work, and often the dye itself would kind of go away, like it'd get used up, like it usually does when you put a dye into something. So yeah, so if something is like old, low level, especially stuff, starter planet stuff, a lot of that sort of thing, a lot of them don't have dye slots, and so I would suggest not trying to dye it, because even if you might get lucky and maybe it'll work,
Right.
but it's not intended, and it's possible that it'll just get bug fixed and go away at some point anyway. Because we know dyeing is an important facet of character customization, in recent years we've leaned harder in the direction of making more and more outfits dyeable, but the older armors that were not created to support dyes will still remain so. So there you go. Yeah, I happen to... There's a few, like... And I do like a lot of the earlier, like, starting planet gear, partly because it tends to be either very simple, which I like, because a lot of times simple just looks more natural than, like, like giant shoulder armor that goes out, a meter in either direction and stuff like that, that all that, like all that crazy stuff that comes, with the dread masters and all that stuff. It's cool as it is. It's like, do I really see my, like, level 8 Sith sorcerer in something that I have to turn sideways to go through doorways?
Right. many a Sith died trying to get through a doorway,
right,
not being able to because their shoulder pads were too big.
Right. So a lot of the lower level stuff is either like nice and simple, which I tend to like, or it's very like classic, like the starting planet, like, Jedi robes are like Jedi robes. They are just Jedi robes. And if you want a Jedi robe, that's kind of where you need to go. And they've since added, other ones that are dyeable and are higher level or from the cartel market or whatever. But it's just a nice look to them. But a lot of them aren't dyeable, unfortunately. So you kind of have to stick with the brown Jedi robes, the black Sith robes, and so on. And then, usually around end of first planet, you'll start to see some dye slots, and then because they added some back in, and then once you get to, like, then like the second and third planet, most of them start to be dyeable after that.
And a lot of those outfits that you get from those starter planets, you can find something similar, on the cartel market, and you can unlock that for your entire account,
right?
Or you can craft them.
Yeah, and there's hardly anything that's not dyeable on the cartel market.
Yeah.
I think there might be one or two, like, really old things, or some very simple things that just, like goggles and stuff that, maybe there's not really any spot for them to be dyed, but yeah, for the most part, everything's dyeable. Right. If you can't redeem a code, they suggest like trying a different browser. So I just thought I'd add that to the show notes.
It's a different browser.
Yeah, so if you're having trouble maybe with the Squadrons code, or maybe you have a different code, maybe you bought one of those old Cartel Market, code things from like Target, and they had a few other places that had them. They still have them, kind of. If they must be out there somewhere.
They're out there.
But yeah, you can always get with the support team if you absolutely can't get a code working. They did have a clarification on how minor Rampage achievement boosts work. There has been a bug with them, and sometimes they weren't working. Apparently, though, some people were assuming they were bugs when it really wasn't intended. So what they did is they kind of clarified that using the minor Rampage achievement boost will increase the defeat counts for achievements like I'm going to get you Zerka defeated 480 non-player opponents while on CZ 198. So this boost will not, however, affect counts towards player defeat achievements, boss or named enemy defeat achievements, or conquest objectives. So it's not conquest related at all, it's only for achievements, and it doesn't work for PvP ones, boss ones, or named enemy ones. So yeah, unfortunately, if you're looking for doubling that up, it's just not going to happen.
I didn't even know Rampagers were still around. Because I remember back in the day, we used to shout out Rampage in guild chat. Because it would pop, and then the guild announcer would come up like, chill.
And we put Rampage, yeah. They kind of moved it out of Conquest, didn't they, for the most part?
Yeah, but it was super fun. I wish they put it back.
Yeah. There's going to be some updates to guild conquests. And we talked about this a little bit on previous shows, where guilds were like going and trying to gather people into their guild as fast as they can just for conquest purposes, and some of them were being very like dicky about it and just like immediately dropping people. Like as soon as they got what they wanted from conquest, they would actually drop the people from the guild. And so they're updating Conquest as it pertains to guilds and guild contributions. It will specifically touch two main aspects of guild conquests: when a new player joins a guild, and when any characters are removed from a guild, and then how the conquest points will be handled. So there'll be a new character grace period. When a new character is accepted an invite into a guild, the character will begin a grace period with the guild. During that time, the new character can still earn their own personal conquest goals and rewards, but their conquest efforts will not be calculated into the guild's conquest efforts until the next conquest event. As such, new characters will not immediately appear in a guild's conquest leaderboards and will not be eligible for the guild's invasion reward. When new characters view the guild invasion screen, they will see a message indicating they are currently unable to contribute toward their new guild's conquest score and must wait until the next conquest event. Similarly, when viewing the guild roster page, new characters who are unable to contribute will be indicated as such, allowing guild leadership to get a better picture of who cannot actively contribute. It is important to note that this grace period is per character, not per account or per legacy. If a player already has a character in a guild and is bringing an alternate character into a guild, the grace period only applies to that alternate character, not all characters from the legacy. Equally as important to note is that this grace period will also apply to all new guilds being formed. Joining a guild is an important aspect of our game. We want to ensure that both the guild and new members are given time to assess each other properly without the pressures of reward systems potentially interfering in that period.
That's cold. That is cold. Inviting someone to the guild, then they get all the conquest points, and then you kick them out.
Right. Exactly.
It's
unfortunate that it's sort of necessary, but yeah, I'm glad that they're doing it though. So that
they wouldn't be able to get away with that for very long. I mean,
you would hope.
I would hope that the people that do get kicked, are saying, talking about it on the forums.
Right.
Like, watch out, these douchebags are, doing blah, blah, blah. That
right.
That sucks.
As far as now, we're going to talk about the opposite character and guild separation. So when a player is removed from a guild by the guild, their conquest contributions will now be removed from that guild as well. In other words, there is now an actual immediate punishment for a guild for removing a character from that guild in terms of like whatever conquest points that character had achieved will be removed from that particular conquest, and of course future ones.
I'm taking my points and I'm going home.
Right, exactly. However, if the character leaves a guild of their own accord, then the points that they contributed to the guild's conquest will remain with the guild for that conquest, which is
That's cool.
pretty generous because, so I'm pretty happy that they went with that direction. When removing characters, guild leadership will now be provided with a notification informing them that removing the member will result in a loss of that member's conquest contributions. And again, this is important to note that this is per character, not per account or legacy.
Yeah.
And
Oof.
yeah, so there you go. Guild Commendation Reward. As a result of the changes mentioned above, the time frame in which a guild will earn their Guild Commendation Invasion Reward is being changed. Guild perk rewards will now be tallied at the end of a conquest event rather than during it, and as such, the Commendation Reward from invasions will be given when the subsequent conquest begins. We want to ensure that the character and guild separation is done in a healthy and amicable way, and there you go. So
Nice.
Yeah. I mean,
Very
it makes
good.
sense. It's unfortunate it's necessary, but, apparently it is. So there you go.
I'm glad that they have a fix for it,
Yeah.
because that's just...
Oh, Evan's saying that happened to me on one of my tunes, got kicked a few weeks ago on an EU server. So yeah, it is happening. I mean, we knew it was happening, but I mean, it's happening to, people we know. It's happening that commonly. So it's good that they're going to be fixing that.
Sorry to hear you had to deal with that, Evan. That sucks.
Yeah. There is a 6.2.1 PTS out. So full level 75 rebalance of all uprisings. That includes enemies and bosses, which is pretty cool.
Very cool.
Some balance on Destroy of Worlds, Done and Dusted, Firefrost, Fractured, Inferno. So they're talking about a lot of like different uprising stuffs here. Trench Warfare, Trial and Error. They all have like little differences. Trial and Error. Marlin Finn has a new leap attack that does AoE damage in a radius around him when he lands. Can execute this ability 1 to 3 times in a row. Ooh, that sounds fun.
When was the last time you ran an uprising, Chill?
Months. It's been a while. It's not something I have done a ton of anyway. But I'm pretty sure I've done all of them at least once. There might have been one or two I've missed, but I've seen them all. I just haven't done them in a while.
It's been a long time. I hope that this brings them back because I forgot about them, but I kind of miss them now.
Yeah, I liked having them be a little bit shorter than a full flashpoint. I definitely would like to get back into them. It sounds like this will be a good excuse to do that. So so if you're interested in the PTS, it is up, and it seems like Uprising is sort of the main thing they're focusing on this time.
Well, I know that that they're changing the character, like the C button. What is it? Your character profile?
Your character sheet,
they're changing that thing up too. I don't know if that's on PTS. I haven't checked it out. I haven't been on PTS since I switched.
He didn't mention it on this one. It was just this is just the welcome one. That's what Daniel C decided to highlight. But it's possible that there's going to be other things fixed as well or altered as well.
I gotta go check it out.
Yeah, and Evan's saying we need Chill back in ops. Yes, I do want to get back into that actually. Fridays have been kind of crazy for a little while. Just different family things going on, but I would like to get back into doing operations, especially with the guild. Yeah, so I want to do that. From general Star Wars news, this happened just earlier today, actually. The Star Wars is going to have Star Wars stamps, and specifically droid stamps, which is kind of cool. There's the Postal Service announced that today there'll be a new series of Star Wars stamps, all devoted to our favorite galactic droids. Designed by Greg Breeding, with William Gicker serving as art director. The collection will be available on a pane of 20 stamps and feature droids from both film and animation, including IG-11, R2-D2, K2SO, DO, L337, BB-8, C-3PO, a Gonk droid, a 2-1B surgical droid, and Chopper. So...
A Gonk droid?
Yeah. And then the pictures are all in the show notes as well, and they're kind of gorgeous, actually.
Yeah, they're really cool looking.
Yeah.
It just seems like such a strange choice that they throw the Gonk droid in there.
Yeah.
Like, we need one more. Does anybody know anything about Star Wars?
Yeah.
Gonk droid.
The Gonk droid.
Put a Gonk droid in there.
And yeah, they look really good. And they are the forever type stamps, so they're going to stay, relevant as well going forward. Actually, I haven't seen the USPS put out a lot of like numbered stamps for quite a while. Actually, they seem to love the forever stamps. That seems to be one of their big things. So yeah, so pretty much all the main droids that you'd want are going to be out there, and they're really, the art really is nice. So who are the artists again? Let's see. Designed by Greg Breeding, and then William Gicker was the art director. So thank you to Greg Breeding and William Gicker. Really pretty designs. Very, very nice. There's like shading and everything, and even Chopper, they kind of kept some of the sort of the animation style, but he looks kind of semi-realistic as well. It's an interesting sort of in-between look for him. Then there's Dio, which is that little cone-headed droid, and I think that was from what was that in? Was it in the sequels?
Rise of Skywalker?
Yeah, it was Rise of Skywalker. And then the Gonk droid, IG-11, the bounty hunter droid, the 2B1, which is the medical droid that gave Luke his hand back and stuff like that. K2SO from Rogue One, L337 from Solo, and a great one of R2, of course, too. They're let's see. These droids are a nod to Lucasfilms as well as the parent company Disney's commitment to science, technology, engineering, and math, or STEM learning, and the continued collaboration between Star Wars Force for Change and global pre-K-12 nonprofit organization FIRST for inspiration and recognition of science and technology. Star Wars Force for Change and FIRST have joined forces to expand access to STEM learning to more young people around the world and help them envision a brighter, more inclusive future, and that is awesome. So there we go.
I am in need of stamps too, but I'm the kind of person that wouldn't use them.
Oh yeah, you'd collect them.
I've got the weirdest stuff. Like my friends send me Christmas cards. I never throw them away. I have 20 years of Christmas cards all stashed away, and I need to use my stamps. Not just sitting around.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. I definitely have a few like sheets of this and that collected over the years, but I'm not a serious philatelist by any means. We did get one bit for the force feedback, huh?
Good usage.
Yeah, I love that word. Let's see. When I sent out the Life Day things, then Cass got back to me from an in-game mail. Said, "Hey, Chill, thank you. Listening to OotiniCast helped me connected to the game while I was too busy with real-life stuff to play for a couple of years shortly after launch, and kept me excited to come back and play. I was delighted to find a home with the guild when I returned. And all your work for the Switcher community is appreciated. Happy New Year, Cass," which is awesome. Thank you, Cass. And Cass and all the guild leaders we have are really wonderful, and they're a lot of fun to do stuff with. So yeah, if you ever want to join in, they do the Jar Jar Joyride stuff on Friday afternoons/evenings, and there's other events occasionally as well. Lots of good stuff. So
definitely.
Yeah, is there anything else, Kitty, going on?
I don't think that there's anything else going on right now.
All right.
Yeah.
Then that's a show. If you'd like to play with us in the Utini Knights Guild on the Republic side of the Satil Shan server, or in our Guild on the Empire side, do a /C join Utini to join the Utini channel. Then let us know you're a fan of the show. You can email questions and comments about the show to utinicast@gmail.com. Follow us on Twitter using OotiniCast, at OotiniCast. You can find contact details for us on our website, OotiniCast.com, which includes how to subscribe using iTunes, Stitcher, and the rest. We record the show live bi-weekly on Tuesdays at 4 p.m. Pacific. Go to utinicast.com/live to find out how to join in. Our theme song is Doomsday by Jean-Paul Zogby. And thank you to the chat room.
Thank you, chat.
And we'll see you next show.
Toodles, everybody.
All right, stopping the stream and stop.